On today's edition of Nutritionist Nicole Knows Nutrition, I'll be going over what it means to make peace with food. So I'm Nicole Contaduca. I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and online nutrition coach who specializes in helping women break free from the restrict binge cycle through intuitive eating. So if this is something that resonates with you, please save and share this video. If you feel someone else would benefit from seeing it, please share it with friends or comment their name below. And if you're interested in learning more about my coaching programs, please comment below and say plan, and I will reach out to you directly. So to go back to making peace with food, what exactly does that mean? Does that mean that you were at war with food before? I'm sure you see this a lot on different Instagram accounts about intuitive eating or about food freedom, all saying make peace with food. So what exactly does that mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that you're like at war with food, but I interpret it to be more so of food is controlling you or has control over you, or certain food items have control over you, or you label foods as good or bad, or you're good or a good person or a bad person if you eat those foods. So that is when your relationship with food is just damaged. So basically making peace with food is also improving your relationship with food. So to start, you have to stop this fight with food. So you would have to give yourself unconditional permission to eat all foods. So no restriction of foods that maybe one of your diets didn't allow, or no saying you can't have this because it's maybe too high in fat or calories. Really just treating all foods as the same. And making sure that when you are allowing yourself to eat all these different foods, that you're not giving yourself this semi-permission where like you're saying, yeah, I can have cake and I can enjoy it, but then eating it and still harboring guilty feelings for eating it. So really you have to try to work on all of those feelings that come along with allowing yourself to have all foods. So not feeling guilty if you have cake, just as you would not feel guilty if maybe you were to have an apple. Also, making sure to not to deprive yourself of any foods. So if there is something that you're really, really craving, don't let yourself not have it because you don't think it's healthy for you. So really allowing yourself to have whatever you want, whenever you want. Also trying to take note of how food makes you feel. So if you are eating, say you have a day full of meetings for work and you have to have a lunch that energizes you, and maybe you have like a sandwich and salad or something like that, and you feel pretty good the rest of the day. Or say the opposite, you had something like a hamburger and french fries for lunch and that made you feel sluggish. So remind yourself of how that feels and be like, okay, well, I have a day of meetings ahead of me. Like, do I think that eating a hamburger and fries is going to give me energy to go throughout the whole day? Or do I think that having the salad and sandwich will make me feel better for the day? And sometimes that will help you make your decision with food. So making sure that you are just taking note of how things make you feel. And that kind of goes into gentle nutrition, which is a later intuitive eating principle. When you are first beginning to make peace with food, you want to make sure that you have all foods that you want in high supply in your house. So if there was something, let's say Oreos, that you haven't allowed yourself to have because maybe they were previously a binge food or forbidden on whatever diet you were on, you want to make sure you have an ample supply so that whenever you have a craving, you can have it. And the thought is that the more you allow yourself to have these previously forbidden foods, the less power they'll have. So like, yeah, maybe you'll eat a full container of Oreos in a day or something like that, but the more you have this food, the less you're going to want it. So like in a week, if you've had a ton of Oreos, maybe a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you might not want as many later on, and then eventually you'll forget they're even in the pantry or the cupboard. So you also want to try to give food the same moral value. So you can come at me and say, well, hello, Nicole, like an apple and a chocolate cake are not nutritionally equivalent. And sure, you're right. Like some things are more nutritionally dense than others. Some have more fiber, some are just have more vitamins. Like I said, some are more nutritionally dense. But I'm not saying that I'm asking you to think an apple and a piece of chocolate cake are nutritionally equivalent. I'm asking you to think that they are morally equivalent. So you can eat the apple and feel good and move on with your day. And you could eat the piece of chocolate cake and move on and feel normal about your day. So it's really not feeling guilt after having the chocolate cake that is changing the mindset around this. So that is keeping them as morally the same type of food. The last one is just making sure to monitor the food police in your head, the thoughts in your head that are telling you that you're good because you eat this way, or you're bad because you eat another way. There's no good or bad foods. There are no good or bad people from eating certain foods. You're not bad if you eat French fries. You're not good if you eat a salad. You are neither good nor bad for anything you are eating. So making sure just to say no to the food police when they're yelling inside your head, telling you what you should and should not be eating, or putting judgment on the foods that you're choosing. So all together, that's all the things I have to say about how to make peace with food. I know that's quite a lot, and if you're interested in learning more about that, my group program really dives into the intuitive eating principles to help you working through making peace with food. I know it's not easy, and it's not something that happens overnight, and it does take time and practice, but it is so worth it when you're no longer judging the foods that you're eating, and you feel really no guilt from eating anything. Like, you feel the same from eating all foods, which is what it should be. You should really be enjoying what you're eating. Food is meant to be enjoyed. If you found this helpful, please share with all of your friends. If anyone you know, again, would benefit from this, please comment their name below and tag them. Or if you just want to learn more about my program, DM me and I'd love to chat. All right, thanks.